The real estate market is on absolute fire. If you're thinking about selling, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you should really consider it right now, coming up next. Hey, what's going on, friends? Dylan Nolaka here with the Buy Big Island video blog, and I'm going to give you 3 reasons today if you're thinking about selling your home that you should really do it right now. There may not have been a better time in the last 10 years, and so I really would encourage you to seriously think about it. Give me a call and we can talk about it. So reason number 1, there is a major inventory crisis right now. If you looked at this time of year last year, 1 year ago, 12 months ago, on the Big Island, there was about 1,000 properties available on the market, and there was about 400 of them in escrow at that time. If you look at the market today, there are less than 600 properties on the market, so 400 less properties on the market, but there are 563 currently in escrow. So there's like 163 more properties in escrow, but 400 less properties available than a year ago. So that ratio is just insane. There's almost as many properties in escrow as there are available, where a year ago it was more like a 2-to-1 ratio. So there is just nothing available. Everything that comes on the market sells almost immediately. There's multiple offers. People are paying top dollar. And if you have a property that is desirable, I can guarantee you it's gonna sell quickly if priced properly in this market, because there is just nothing available right now. And the stuff that comes on goes contingent almost immediately, and buyers are getting very disappointed that they're not getting an opportunity to get into those homes. So inventory crisis is reason number 1. Reason number 2, interest rates are at historic lows. And this is important because it gives buyers more buying power. So if we take $700,000, let me explain what this looks like, right? $700,000 kind of average price point in our market here in Kona. At 5% interest rate, which is pretty common 5 or 6 years ago and historically not a bad interest rate, your monthly just principal and interest payment on that $700,000 would have been about $3,700 a month. Today, at 3% or less of an interest rate on that same $700,000, we're talking about $2,900 a month principal and interest payment. So we're saying we're gonna save like $800 a month for that same $700,000. But if a buyer can afford that $3,700 a month, what they're probably gonna do is increase their purchase price, right? So instead of only being able to afford a $700,000 house, today's interest rates, you can buy an $880,000 house for that same $3,700 a month, right? Crazy. So you can literally buy $180,000 more of a house at the same exact cost per month as you could when the interest rates were higher. So that those low interest rates are driving buyer power, so they can buy a bigger house, a more expensive house than they could before at the same monthly payment. And so that has put more people into the market. And of course they want to get in when interest rates are low, because you're going to lock in that low interest rate, that low payment for 30 years. So that's driving a lot of buyer demand, and you got to consider that right now as a seller, because you have more buyers in the market and maybe more buyers at your price point, because they can step up and pay more at that same monthly cost. So that's reason number 2, historic interest rates, historically low interest rates. All right, reason number 3 is just tons of buyer demand. As I've been talking about for the last few months, buyers not being able to come here all through the summer and most of last year was going to create a bunch of pent-up demand. And we did see the market slow down a little bit, but as soon as things opened up in October, we saw that flood come back in, and the market's been crazy since then, and that hasn't stopped. So the buyers who were wanting to come during the summer, during earlier last year that couldn't, they're all coming now and they're buying. And so there's tons of buyer demand. Those buyers want to get out of the cities that they're in. Things are crazy in the mainland in a lot of places, and they're also finding out that they don't have to go back to work, right? A lot of these guys who have good jobs are going to be allowed to remote work or telework, and that's going to allow them to relocate where they're currently at and work from anywhere. And we're seeing that happen. There's a mass exodus from cities, and they're coming here, and they're going to continue to work. They're not retirees. They're younger folks, and they're folks that are still planning to work for 10 years, but now they have the ability to remote work, and that's going to allow them to move. And so that buyer demand is alive and well, and it's something that you really got to consider as a seller, because there's more buyers in the market right now who have more buying power and who don't have anything to choose from. And we're seeing multiple offers on many properties. We're seeing people bidding it way up above the asking price, escalation clauses, waiving the appraisal, all kinds of stuff. So If you're a seller and you're considering selling and you're not sure if it's the right time, please call me. Let's talk. Now is the time. There is no inventory. We got to get more houses on the market. And if you've ever been thinking about selling, there may not have been a better time in the last 10 years. So if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments or Dylan at buybigalisland.com, and I'll get back to you. Thanks always for watching. I'll see you next week. Aloha.